Drawn, we're getting close to the end of the year. We got one more month to go in December, where it's Christmas time, and it's around that time again where the video games awards happening that I don't watch. I do my own awards in my own way, and then but we're doing something a little bit different. I think I want to start doing this every year now. I want to do kind of like a status of like, what do we expect for 2023 from our studio? So we'll get into that in a few minutes, but we got to get into the news because some interesting news has been going on. Of course, that happens, every week. Apparently, there's never like a small moment here and there. For instance, what's really quick is Phil Spencer finally came out and kind of, a lot of people are, it's a weird thing. People are doing this, that he says that Call of Duty is always going to stay on PlayStation to the formidable time of the console, for whatever. People are taking it out. People are using some of his words as code of like, we get ya, wink wink, kind of thing, or whatever. I don't really care. But Call of Duty is, of course, selling like gangbusters for Modern Warfare 2. Of course. The usual. But after this one, I believe this will be the starter of not yearly anymore. At least for those. I can't speak for like the battle royales and all that crap.
I have mixed feelings, but yeah.
What, you want it yearly?
Oh, hell no. That's not the part I'm mixed feelings about.
Oh.
What are all these guys going to do? Because I know they don't want to play Apex that much.
No, they can enjoy the game for an extra year, because DLC might exist to carry that over in some sort of way. Or you can go back and play all the other Call of Duties that only get like a year. Go play, not Vanguard, go play the other ones.
Play Advanced Warfare. Play Infinite Warfare. Play. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm biased. Call of Duties all play somewhat the same to me. So.
Well, I think a lot of people know that. It's just more of like, it's almost like it's becoming a tradition.
Yeah. The last
Call
thing
of
we
Duty,
need, another yearly tradition.
Turkey.
I mean, sure. Once again, sorry, my doggy's been here and his nails clicking like he's wearing high heel shoes. Yeah, Call of Duty is to me what a kick in the nuts is to everybody else. I don't enjoy it.
That's why it's not for everybody. And you're not part of that, over like 1 million people. So, it is what it is. No. I'm more of a Battlefield person. But, 42 did not make me get on that bus this year, so I'll have to wait for the next Battlefield.
I don't think 5 did it either.
5 was decent. I would play that over that one. I mean...
futuristic one, yeah.
Yeah, for now. Just because I heard it's getting better, but that's a different story for another day. But we have a lot to talk about today, and we're going to talk about some news. And our first set of news is really all about Sony. Sony has really been really speaking out on news and stuff in general for the last, I think, early fall. I think August from the whole like upset with Xbox decision about what to do with Call of Duty to all the games coming out with the whole like fiasco with the upgrades. All this stuff, and to the like the premium tier, because we're going to talk about the very first one here, is that basically over, I think, 2 million people, they lost too many subscribers to this since the new tier ladders that they're doing here. Shout out to Jerome.
Million.
Jerome said that I can't be the PlayStation guy if I don't have one of those tiers. So I was like, yeah, you are a trooper. But based on the article I read from PlayStation, they said the number of PlayStation Plus subscribers have fallen to almost 2 million since Sony launches its revamped subscription service in June. According to the company's latest financial reports, Sony multi-tier PlayStation Plus subscription service has dropped from 47.3 million at the end of June to 45.4 million in the 3 months leading up to September 30th. Basically a 4%, a decrease of 4% of Sony's highlight that the ratio of gamers subscribed to the service significantly higher on PS5 than it is for the previous generation PS4 console. In response, Sony leadership plans to accelerate the adoption of PS5 hardware and recover this user's engagement going forward. John, what does that even mean to you?
It's corporate speak for we lost some subscribers. We're still over 45 million, but we still lost subscribers. So we're going to try and push more PS5 adoption. Um, and it's like, yeah, obviously, PS5's been out for 2 years now, or going on 2 years, and it is just now in the last like month and a half been readily available. Like I can go to a store and see one and buy it if I wanted to. So yeah, obviously they have a lot of catching up to do.
I think it's. Oh, I'm sorry. Go on. I'm sorry.
Oh no, that's it. They have a lot of catching up to do and recover this user engagement going forward and accelerate the adoption of PS5 hardware. That could mean anything from push some really cool holiday deals because the holidays are coming up, Black Friday deals, or do some really shitty things to force people off of PS4.
I think it's interesting that for this situation is I think that I think most of the people that subscribe to the PlayStation Plus tier or whatever is almost like it almost feels like just because no particular real reason to me. I think they just do it because it's just I have PlayStation, but not like really looking at the whole picture of is it really worth it? You know what I mean? Like, so I asked you, like, as the tiers to you have been worth it in general, because you don't have a tier. Are you on any of the tier? Are you on premium or essential, or are you just straight
Let's
with
just say
extra?
I stayed with the base essential tier.
So to you, had there not been anything that wanted to push you to go up to the other two tiers at all?
Well, let's put it this way: they have a lot of really interesting games that are on premium and whatever the other one is.
I think it's essential then premium.
Yeah, essential, premium, and then there's a third tier.
No. Sorry. Let me. I wanted to say I think the original one is called extra or essential. Then the top one is extra, and then the top one is premium. Regardless, premium is the highest tier.
Okay.
Regardless.
Then, yeah, I can. Well, then I'll skip to the ending. I can't justify dropping $120 a year on a premium subscription service. Primarily, not because it doesn't have a lot of stuff. Yeah, it has a lot of games. I'd love to be able to play Stray for free. It drops a lot of extra games early on premium, but I don't have the time to play those games to where I'm getting my money's worth. Okay. And also, yeah, PlayStation 1 games, meh. That's one of the selling aspects. PlayStation 2 games, okay. PlayStation 3, you still got to stream them. You can't just download them. So, no. Sony's not winning me over with their tiers. I'll stay with Essential, get my 2 or 3 free games a month, call it good.
I really wish they kind of designed the package a little bit more. I think that, I almost feel like that the premium, I don't know, I feel like the premium is just there for the retro, and that's it. It's basically the same thing as the second tier, except you're getting your retro games. I wish the retro games were more open, and then the top premium should be more of your Game Pass. If you get the premium, then you get to play that game day one free per se on there. Instead of waiting it become available there, it should be day one. I feel like that's what I think. I think premium should feel like Game Pass, and then the other two are just lower down. And I think it's weird because now it's not them anymore. It's a lot of different streaming services are doing with the ads. Now they're limiting you what shows you have on your list. For instance, Netflix, there's a list now of shows that won't be on the ad version of Netflix. But if you did the ad, is
that on purpose?
I think so. I think I saw an article about
because I think we saw the same article, and I was like, is that on purpose? Because some of those shows are shows that need eyes on it. It
has to be on purpose, or some kind of contract deal of we will not be in this, because then you're taking money out of the show. I don't know. I don't know the paperwork behind that. But to separate that is different, and I feel like that's the same thing with here is we're splitting up so much stuff with the confusing tier names as we just confuse ourselves which one is which, you know.
Yeah.
But I just feel like that it almost feel like the people that have this is the people that just like, I'm a PlayStation fan, I'm just going to get PlayStation regardless. I just feel like it's a natural thing to do. It's almost like like in Netflix or Hulu or whatever that we do. We buy it and then we just let it sit there.
Yeah.
You know?
The Netflix's basic with ads is like $7 a month, which, you know, for a lot of people who are low on money, that's appealing. You know, Disney's ad based is $8, which,
right.
Yeah. Now we're going to run into Disney stuff to where they have ads now.
Yeah, but at least for the streaming service, at least so far that we know the tiers are easy to know. You want ads or no ads? The PlayStation one is still a little confusing of like, what do you get from going up from each one? And
what's the value add?
Yeah, and I'm only speaking more of a casual person that just wants to go into it. You know, of course, if you do your homework, you can figure it out and all that. But at the same time, I feel like maybe a lot of people, I would like to hear what people have to say. Has premium been worth it? Because I feel like just that, like the beginning of PlayStation Plus when it first exists, it was a slow process. Yes, it's not going to be the best what you want, but within time, you know, it's going to grow. This tier thing hasn't came around a year yet.
Yeah, it's barely 5 months.
So like I'm giving them a chance to see. I want to see how a year looks like for them, but right now, I wonder what the struggle is behind that, and I would like to know. Like, why did they lose 2 million? I wonder what that is. It's probably maybe it isn't worth it. You know,
in my opinion, it's not. The value, the price to the price ratio, it's not there. It's like, okay, cool. What are you giving me? What am I getting for $120 a month that I couldn't get with Xbox Game Pass and PC for, you know, equivalent?
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, I could play these games on PC or Xbox or in the cloud. I could download these and I keep them, as opposed to PlayStations. You can only play them as long as you have a membership.
Right.
You know.
Right, because like at least I feel like in the long run between Xbox and PlayStation, and I'm saying minus like the exclusive thing, just talking about cost value, it feels like Xbox it's on the upper hand because the only thing you have to really worry about is paying for gold just to get the online to play with people, and then paying for the Game Pass where you're getting your, you know, every game they announce first party is going to be on there, which now Call of Duty and Diablo and those are going to be like amazing at that time. But PlayStation right now is, here's a group that's been upset about not having Call of Duty on there, but people are going to be paying so much extra for Call of Duty. You know what I mean? Like, and
$70. We're now at the $70
on top of playing the online, and it's not feel like you're walking out anywhere. Like, that's why I'm like, I wish premium was like you get to play these games free somehow. Not so much Call of Duty, but just a game. Like, it's their first party games per se that are new coming out. Like, I think God of War should be free if you're a premium member. Not maybe the second tier, but the third tier. Like, look, I'm paying that much. Let me play it. You know?
I tend to agree, except, I mean,
I think I know what you're trying to say. I know you're. I'm speaking more of a player. Like a player, that's great. As a business, no, right?
Well,
because
we're clearly seeing how it's working out for Sony with them kind of being stingy. They're losing memberships.
Well, we'll have to see what happens. Like 2 million is something to look at, but it's
compared against the 45 million they have.
Yeah,
left.
It's not that big of a thing, but I like to see if this keeps leading. Because
is it a trend or is it a nominal?
Because you know anything can change where like they can something big can hit those tiers and then it could change the game for them and more people will come back. I don't know what it is, but it can happen. Yeah. Sony, I think right now that's the situation of when you're on a console that's not doing as well as a competitor, that you're making a sacrifice for a lot of stuff to get people to get in your ecosystem. Xbox has been sacrificing a lot for the last couple of years trying to do that. You know, they mentioned that like they're losing $100 to $200 for every S and X being sold. You know, they're selling at a loss so they can get you into the Game Pass. And Sony is really still focusing on we're going to give you these AAAs because we want more money out of that. And so we know that we know that we are mostly the best when it comes to exclusives. So people are going to keep coming to us.
We're not even getting special consoles yet. God of War Ragnarok is out as of this recording, and the console bundle isn't even a special console. It's just the white console with the game voucher.
What kind?
So I don't know. I'm a little salty, you know, and I know we got, you know, move on to the next item, but I'll just say this. I'm a little salty because I did watch some commercials just on a lark earlier this week of PlayStation 2, 3, PSP commercials, and how creative, how hyped, just how they kept everything the commercials made you want to play. And I'm just not seeing that same kind of hype with the PS5. It's almost like, you know what this is. Come get it.
That's exactly what it is. Like when you're feeling you're on top, you're not hungry anymore.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You're just putting stuff out. And that's not just them. That was Nintendo for a while. Nintendo felt like they didn't have to really do that much.
Until it fell off.
Fell off is a strong word. I mean, Switch is speaking it for itself, right?
Well, yeah, that's after the fall off. That's after the fall. I'm talking about the Wii U, the
true,
the system where everybody's like, "Oh, it's so underrated." Then why didn't you buy one?
True. No, that's 100% correct. And you know, Wii U is basically what PlayStation 3 was, sold wise. Like PlayStation 3 did not sell as well as the other two in that generation. That was the 360.
Yeah.
And the Wii, you know what I mean? So they had their loss, and the Wii U had their loss, and Xbox had his loss with one, you know? So they all got one in there. And so, you know, this is interesting now because it feels like now everybody took one loss. Now we're all in even feel here. Speak with your wallets, you know? And Xbox's bigger plan is to get you more in their ecosystem so they can play you more stuff. PlayStation is just trying to get you to buy their console, and Switch is the same thing.
The proof's in the pudding. I haven't turned on my Xbox One S console in a while, but I've turned on the PS5 and the Switch.
Right, but Xbox wants you to play it on something, right? Like, are you playing those games on PC? That's all they care about. Like, you're playing our product and you're using our Game Pass. Game Pass is what they want to sell. That's why they're willing to take the loss, because the Game Pass is supposed to make up for it. That's their goal. And PlayStation, like I said, they don't really have to try because the fact that when you're on top, you don't have to try. It's the same thing like for certain games. Like, no one is going to dethrone Call of Duty. No game. They've been in the game too long. There's not been a series long enough to dethrone Call of Duty. So Call of Duty
itself.
Yeah, it can hurt itself, of course.
Yeah.
But hurting themselves can be made up by a next game.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Sorry, we messed up. See you next year.
Yeah, you know, like it's just sorry, that was a bad season. We'll see you next season. You know, we got great things coming for the next season. So they can actually be lazy if they want to and still make gangbusters. Because the funny part about these games and these stuff is they just need you to get in. You can be pissed when you get in, but they want you to get in first. And the same thing, like we want you to get a PS5. You don't like the PS5? That's fine. You don't like anything? It's good. We already got the money. It's your choice what you want to do with it. But we got you in. The same thing with Call of Duty. We got you in. It's the reason why it's the highest grossing like franchise for a first person shooter of like all time. You know, because people get it for one. It's just a tradition. Call of Duty made a tradition of like every year a Call of Duty. So when you're on top, you know, you don't have to try that hard. You don't really have to try that hard. The game speaks for itself, like you said. Like the game speaks for itself. You know what it is. It's God of War. I don't need to tell you what it is.
Yeah,
you loved it.
Yeah,
we're here.
Yeah. This
same thing with Zelda.
New one's perfect 10s. Yeah.
Yep. And the same thing with Zelda. You know, you get what you get for those. And so that's why I always root for the underdogs, because those are the people who are hungry, and those are the ones you see like really put a lot of work into their games. That's why like AAA's better be really, really aware of those indie developers, because they're catching up. Like they're slowly getting out of the retro pixel games, and they're really getting into more of graphical stuff. So so they're coming. So you can't. Yeah,
they don't need. They're A and AA games, and they're
Mm-hmm.
Go for it.
Yeah.